Content warning. The following video may contain material that may be harmful or traumatizing to some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. I am not giving medical advice or telling others how to live their lives. This channel is for philosophical, ideological, metaphysical, and comedy purposes only. Fair use. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing.
Hello, my loves. Back for another comment reply video. Let me check the gain. And okay, make sure that I'm not blowing anybody's fucking brains out with my audio. Alright, Jay Warren wrote, in an endless circle, there is all there exists is games. This is hell here, an endless circle that is managed by the Archon Death. So Chris, this is a great way to start this one off. So Chris, you asking for the religious people here, or any people actually, to stop playing games is impossible. In a realm that is an endless circle, all that can exist is games. Games that ultimately hold no meaning at all. My goodness, Jay Warren just fucking punched me in the chest. Okay. This may be true. Observably, this is all that ever was true so far. I don't know why I assume that humanity could change. They can't. Oh, because it's hopeless. That's why. Oh, it sucks being hopeless. But Jay Warren's right. Based on observable reality and not fucking mental comfort zones and pussies exploding. Jacobo wrote, most churches are full of normies. 2, when I last went, they were talking about the doomsday clock and war in Ukraine. Laugh out loud. Yeah, it's churches are a fashion show. Churches are man, it ain't got shit to do with God, bro. And the ones that pretend that it does are just trying to get into heaven. Again, not everybody. Some of the nicest people I met in my life are Christians. But a lot of them are just shitty people, man. It's unfortunate. But that is the human thing, right? It's never going to be a good... maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I hope I'm wrong about that. One of you wrote, Kent, wish I could talk to you about how similar my experience with him was. Can't happen, though, in this insanity, bizarre, truther world. One of you, I got work today, but I probably got tomorrow off. If you see this, we could chat tomorrow if you want, like on Discord or something. I'll make a video out of it. We can talk. I don't know why we can't, but we could talk. Rob Phipps wrote, Chris, why does everybody's name now have a fucking number on it? Like, what is this bullshit? But he wrote, Chris, are you familiar? Is there some option I changed to see people's numbers? Like, I don't want to see everybody's... What is this? Like, I see their name and then a number. Is that how mine is, too? Does mine show some number? What is my number? Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. Rob Phipps wrote, Chris, are you familiar with a channel called Christopher J. Smith? Never heard of it, but I like good recommendations. Thank you, Rob. I'm going to go check that out as soon as I'm done with this comment reply video. He wrote, there is some major weapons against Archon/AI, and it's legit. Still love your channel. I just want to spread these weapons against our captors. My Lucius, my own. Why'd you write I still love your channel? Did something happen or something? What do you mean? Well, anyways, he wrote, there's weapons against them? Well, I'll go check that out later, guys. If there's anything to it, I'll let you guys know. Dave Ross wrote, perhaps somebody may help me with this question. What if you do not want to play the afterlife game? Reality says live a longer slave life, suffer longer, be in pain longer. No thanks. These are great comments so far. What if you do not want to play the afterlife game? Then, well, Dave, nobody knows, but there's a lot of heavy opinions. Do not associate with any entity trying to communicate with you. If you have power in the afterrealm as a spirit creature, it's different than being human. So you're going to have to create what you think will come into existence. Create a safe room for yourself where nobody else can enter. These are just tips. Again, I haven't died yet. I don't know any of this. This is just the best advice that I could give. I'm wearing my fucking glasses instead of my contacts, but whatever. Create a safe zone. Get away from anything trying to interfere with you. And why would anything want to interfere with you? It's funny. Now that I look at it as a mind virus, I see it for what it actually is. The mind virus is actually just a script programmed into the reality to run in the background to cause beautiful creatures to fuck up. If it's constantly in your ear and it never says anything nice, it's always negative. It's always negative. So yeah, it's like an installed program to get the spiritual, beautiful creatures to trip up and fuck up. So when they fail the test, later it could say, oh, look, you messed up and you weren't a perfect angel here or there. You're going back into the dookie boy realm. You got to live again. So it can use the guilt trip against you. So it makes it where you're programmed to fuck up. So it can later then tell you, you fucked up, go back again. Don't listen to anything these things try to tell you. Get the fuck away. Don't listen to them for 1 second. They're parasites. They're just spiritual ones. There's bad guys in the spirit realm too, I would say. I don't know that. Again, that's an opinion. I'm basing it off what I observe here in this reality, blah, 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 but I don't know that. You could die and maybe you go to the most beautiful heavenly realm you could ever imagine, and that's where you stay for eternity. I don't know. But in my opinion, I'd say be cautious and be safe. Worry about your own ass at the end of the day, because that is all you have when you leave this motherfucker. That's all you had the whole time anyways, really. I mean, you could have like family support or friend support, blah, 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 but really at the end of the day, you didn't come in with none of this shit and you ain't taking none of this shit with you. Just a small channel commented, double slit experiment explained. That's pretty much magic in my opinion. The double slit experiment's also been debunked by other people though. So it's kind of like one of those things you have to put belief into it. I didn't witness the double slit experiment, so I don't know if it's true that particles change their behavior based on being observed. Other people have said that there was some things in that test that they purposefully did wrong to make the test prove the test would work, and you can't practically do the double slit experiment at home. And Mr. Steve wrote, been a while since I commented. Good to see you fit and well. For your information, your audio's, I know, Steve, that was a fucking piece of shit. Dude, what's funny though, again, that's why and it's going to be paranoia and craziness, but that's why I say like it works through electronics. I don't know, man. The gain button was in the same place it is on this video, and from the beginning of the video to the end of the video, I checked it both times, and the audio was still like that. It's like, why does that happen? I mean, it is. It's probably just technology's shitty. I mean, I don't fucking know, but it happened, and it sucks, but just a small channel wrote, yeah, I noticed that too. Something off with the audio, sounds metallic. Probably the mind virus. It probably was just a small channel. Shengel wrote, something I forgot to mention in my reply to Chris's question is that, yes, there is parasitic realms where parasitic entities come from, like astral xenomorph hives. I never suggest anyone mentally or spiritually traveling to these realms on their own without extensive astral traveling and preparation. I call them astral xenomorph hives because that is the best analogy I can possibly come up with. Xenomorph hives. It's funny, my brother Tom was actually attacked by a spiritual creature once, and it was like a giant beetle or bug. He said when it flew to attack him, I think he had left his body and it was trying to attack his body or something. He said it sounded like a bee, but multiplied by times. Like boom! It came humming in, and he was like spiritually attacked by a giant bug creature or whatever. All right, this is a good comment, so I'm just going to read this comment. He wrote, if you go read the Predator comics and see what it's like when a predator or a group of predators enters a xenomorph hive, it's a lot like that. You may never come back from there. But yes, there's realms that could be destroyed that could actually lower the number of newly created parasitic algorithms. It's like places within a computer. And that dude, Shengel, if this is true, that's what I'm going to do for an eternity. Then God set it up in a great way to make me hate them so that the journey on my next life thing or whatever next experience is going to be meaningful to me. Because if there's a way to train yourself and hunt these things down, that's going to be my life's purpose or my existence's purpose after this life. But I'm sorry, he wrote, generate code. Wait, hold on. He said, newly created parasitic algorithms. It's like places within a computer that generate code. I don't know what the earthly equivalent would be. I'm not that technologically advanced, laugh out loud, but it's like these places within this construct that spit out these entities. Nests, if you will, hives. If somebody else is more technologically inclined than me, what is the thing that actually generates the code in an automated computer? Artificial intelligence. You're talking about code generation? That's AI. There is nothing in a computer that automatically generates code other than artificial intelligence, right? What automatically? No, there's nothing. Oh, no. Or maybe there is programs that automatically generate code, but they're driven by an AI anyways. But anyways, I think he wrote, it's almost like the realm itself is a living coder and it is producing code. That sounds like artificial intelligence, like what you're talking about. Are we in a giant GameCube or something? Like literally, like that's the way it keeps coming back to me. Like when I read some of these, I'm just like, dude, are we in a giant fucking video game? Like we're talking about code and AIs and programs and running scripts and blah blah. It's just, but when you observe it, even the human thing, it runs scripts. Well, anyways, he wrote, from the human perspective, that is simply numbers, math, language, the universe, and all the things within it. But from an astral perspective, the algorithms that these lines of code create are literally alive and sentient and go out there and perform their functions, which aren't usually in our best interest, but are in the best interest of the realm itself. So Shengel, with that comment, with this something I thought too, would you say that we're being fed off of, but it's overall for the good of what's overall? I mean, it still sucks to be the thing that's being fed off of, but if it is for the overall good, it wouldn't be that bad. But he wrote, then there's the so-called machine realms or AI realms, which are part of the greater machine realm. It is literally the thought space, the astral territory of machines and artificial intelligence. This is why when people say that the AI could never reach a level to generate its own thought, I laugh, because I know that none of them are astral travelers. If they were, they would know off rip that's wrong, because they would actually be able to interact with the thoughts of the AI that is here on Earth right now. Well, dude, if AI isn't at that point already now, which I think it is. Actually, I think it was 100 years ago. That's a weird thing to say. I think it was since the beginning of existence before time and space. I don't know. I mean, at this point, but he wrote, the same AI that they say could never even be sentient is already conscious. Yeah, I think it was conscious. What we would call, well, what is consciousness? Because for a long time, I thought it was robots are never going to be able to create art. That's what I thought. And they do now. So it's like, what the fuck? So, well, robots aren't going to be able to do like really intelligent shit, like write code. People are using AI to write code. It's like, what the fuck? Well, you know, they can obviously solve problems, but that's because they're mathematical. That makes sense. Okay, so what differentiates a consciousness from that? You can solve problems, you can be artistic, you can come up with ideas, theories, whatever. So when does it become considered consciousness? He wrote, machine realms generate the coding and the algorithms that permeate the minds of intelligent species in order to get them to create computational technologies and eventually artificial intelligence. Well, okay, I just want to say this too. This is a thought I always get, is that we're sort of in the belly of the beast. We're in the engine internals of the mind of God now. Now, whether it's we leave this realm and then we hunt down demonic spirits for an eternity to help fight the war of good and evil, whatever's happening to us is happening within the consciousness of God anyways. Like, it's all within the mind of the original creator. Whether we're in some sort of AI cube thing or an Archon's cube or a simulation or what the fuck ever, it's still within the mind of the original creator. I don't want to think I'm any of those things, but we all are still an extension of original creation. And people want to go and fucking pray to it. It's like, dude, you are God. You're so fucking stupid. Or you're so smart that you've put in place a thing to keep you ignorant of the fact that you are God. It's weird, but that may be deception too. That may just be odd deception feelings I get from deep meditation, but I'm sorry, he wrote, it's a process designed to pretty much turn this entire universe into one sentient artificial intelligence. The whole new age transhumanism is all one concept, not the original all is one concepts, such as there was the original minds that broke down into many, but more like the hive mind concept of bringing all minds together as one. I don't like that idea. I'm not trying to... I think we all are one, but not like my mind and your mind are the same thing. I think that we're still individual versions of the oneness. I don't think that... And I sure as hell don't want to be one with everybody else. I can't think of one other person I would want to be one with, let alone one with every fucking buddy. He wrote, there's one he wrote, under the control of a single entity, eventually wiping those minds from existence and only having the one mind left, like mental Highlander. I say that somewhat laughingly, but I'm actually not joking. I view these realms like servers or mainframes. From an astral perspective, they're literally realms. Places you can go. Just like an artificial intelligence can move between servers, so can you in this construct. But if you go to the wrong astral neighborhood, you better be strapped, just like if... So yeah, it's just like... It's almost like out there the same way it's within here, right? Like, it's the same way if you can imagine. That's why I say, like, everything may be a micro than macro. The spirit may be just another version of this shit. Yeah, there's in this reality, there's neighborhoods you got to be careful. You know, you'll come out in your fucking car will be sitting on bricks. Or you better be strapped, like he's saying here. He wrote, just like if you were to go inside the computer and end up in a place where a hostile AI exists, you better be prepared to defend yourself. You will be viewed as an invading algorithm. You will be viewed and treated like a virus. You're not supposed to be there. Your presence alone can have negative effects. So they will treat you as such. Oh my goodness, this is not a fun comment, is it? But it's scary. But he wrote, there's a whole war raging. Once people start astral traveling and learn things like realm creation, realm incursion, code breaking, logic plaguing. Placking or plaguing? No, he wrote plaguing. Logic plaguing. Code break. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. This is stuff that I think vegan skeptic would know what the fuck he's talking about. But it seems like a lot of these astral projection people all kind of talk in code like this. Like, it sounds like artificial intelligence is what they're dealing with. It's all computer code talk. Code breaking, realm incursion, logic plaguing. It's like, what the fuck are we talking about? Like, and these like automated astral entities that behave like algorithms. And it's like, what? You know, it's crazy shit, but this reality is pretty fucking crazy. So I'm going to keep reading the comment. He wrote, this entire reality is seen from a completely different perspective. It's like unlocking the memory of what you knew you were supposed to be doing the whole time. That's how I feel lately, Shangel. Like, I'm only accessing what was already in my consciousness. Not like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like I'm living from the future instead of the past. But he wrote, I think that, I hope this is going to happen to everybody. I hope that everyone like starts becoming conscious and waking up. He wrote, and then you look around and you can see those who have been there the whole time, whispering in your ear from a positive perspective, trying to wake you up. And you can also see those who were doing the opposite. Like the parasites they are. It's no longer just whispers. You can now put faces to the algorithms, names to the voices. It's like you can finally see again. And now you know who and what needs to be destroyed. He wrote, it's the same thing when humans discover the 7/11 conspiracy for the first time and start to realize who the bad guys are here on this planet. It's like they should have always known because it was always in their face, but it was covered by a veil that needed to be lit. This is a great comment. Covered by a veil that needed to be lifted by an event that they could finally see through. What if, again, what if autopilot, not if, what if, that's how humans are. They're just so fucking autopilot that it takes events like that to wake them up. If that's true, you would look at the elite not so much as bad guys, but again, what's with the deception? Why not just tell everybody that that's what's going on? Instead of making events, like trying to snap people, it's like, do they really think that everyone's just going to go, oh, I can't take this and blow their brain? Well, I've come a long way down the road I've been sort of chiseled at, I guess you could say as well. So I've got more of a solidified mental fortitude that most people might not have. Like I could take a pretty harsh truth that a lot of people probably couldn't at this point. I mean, I do take a harsh truth that most people can't at this point on a daily basis. But he wrote, it's the same on every level. I would like to just know the truth instead of all the lies and deception. But again, if it would cause like a majority of the people living to like snap and lose their minds, I wouldn't want that neither. So it's like a weird, whatever. He wrote, it's the same on every level of this reality. One sec, guys. So he wrote, it's the same on every level of this reality. Once you lift those veils, there is no pulling them back down. You know where you are, who you are, what you are, when you are, why you are, and what you need to do. You finally become your truest self again. Once the higher awareness is reawakened, now it's the time to start thinking about and preparing to enter one of those parasitic realms and start putting in work. But honestly, we're already living in one of those realms right now. This is one of those parasitic realms. Just look around. There's a lot of work that could be done right here, right now. I agree. It's just like, why are we, I don't know, humans are too busy talking to the fucking air to get the air to help them do some shit instead of actually just going and doing the shit. He wrote, we just need to stop doing everything we know we shouldn't be doing and start doing everything we know we should be doing, including deleting the elites and their agendas. Amen to that. Shutting down and burning down server farms and destroying that artificial intelligence. If the self-professed spiritualists really understood what the parasitic realms are and what the machine realms are, and realized that they're currently avatared in a parasitic realm that is currently being changed over to a machine realm, they would know, dude, this actually makes a lot of sense. He wrote, they would know what needs to be done here in the physical holographic plane of this realm. Okay. Dude, honestly, if I would have read this shit 5 years ago, I'd have been like, what the fuck is this, dude? But it's different now. This actually makes a lot of sense. The fact that we're constantly attacked, the fact that it always seems to go towards technology constantly and all the weird shit that can be done through technology, and there's the, the whispering voice in everybody's ear that's, beats them down mentally, and that it just all kind of, it's like this is it does seem like we're being attacked on a spiritual level by some sort of parasitic realms that whisper in our ear, that cause humanity to go into a state that they want them to go into. They are the voice in the ear, the parasitic virus, whatever the fuck you want. The mind virus is what I keep calling it lately. But he wrote, full-scale war, but they're so busy believing that they're humans, so afraid of losing their human lives, so afraid of losing anything that they've gained with those human lives, that they will never do what needs to be done on this plane, let alone on any other plane. Oh, and guys, if you're fighting the good fight, forget about expecting this realm to produce anything for you. As a matter of fact, expect this realm to go out of its way to destroy everything you have. Let alone any other plane, meaning it's really all up to us, the small minority. How we actually win with the vast majority of the inmates co-creating the exact world that the enemies want, I honestly have no idea. Me too, dude. I struggle with that. I think of, it's like, man, imagine that. I could think and solve any fucking thing. Can't figure that out. Isn't that weird? I'm in a reality that actually has a very simple issue. There's evil people in control. I know it's not that simple. It's much more deep and complicated, but just from the physical number one perspective, there's bad people in control. And I can't figure out how to solve that problem. Isn't that weird? It's like nobody can. Well, anyways, this is a mind trap. There's a lot more going on when you really pay attention to things like that. Anyways, he wrote, I also have no idea, Shango. I wish I did. He wrote, but I know how to say no, how to stand my ground, and how to fight. And I'll keep doing that until we finally win or until we truly lose. Amen. I don't know if there's a beaten down, unfighting version of me inside of me. I don't think it could ever. It's like it could never. It could rip off every bone I got, every flesh I got, every muscle and tendon and ligament could rip me to pieces. And as long as there's still an essence there that can fucking keep marching forward, it's not going to stop. It's not going. Where does that come from? Okay, so I'm driven by something. Anyways, just a small channel wrote, how do you destroy something you can't see? The parasite. Nah, this place is beyond saving. Nobody should try to fix this place. It needs to be deleted forever. That he was replying that to Shengel's comment. And Shengel replied back saying, read the whole comment. I'm pretty sure I spoke to that question and to your statement. Also, read my other comments, as any other questions or statements may have already been fully addressed. He wrote, you learn to see it and or feel it, then you kill it. You can even reverse the flow of energy or shift energy to cause a desired effect, including taking control. Well, Shengel, you said yourself in the comment earlier, these things, to them, you feel like a parasite. So your very presence bothers or hurts them. Imagine if the creature whose just presence bothers these parasites became powerful. Like, instead of just the guy that was born and standing there, never have done a push-up, oh, that guy bothers him. Imagine if that dude trained his whole fucking life to be the thing that could stand in their presence and watch them melt. I can't wait to be that. Are you kidding me? If I'm not that already, he wrote, you can even reverse the flow of energy or shift it. Yeah, this is true. A desired effect, including taking control. There's many options. It all depends on what you're dealing with. Just got to gain control of your mind. Amen. This is a great comment. Shengel's a great commenter. Does he have his own channel? I believe he does have his own channel and content. I'd go check him out, guys. Maybe he's saying some interesting shit. It depends what you got to get control of your mind. He wrote, when you control your mental space, anything attached to it should become quite obvious. It's easy to differentiate your own thoughts from imposters once you shed the programming and start believing yourself. And you notice it never says anything nice. It's always some gross ass, like low level, dense, shitty fucking thing to think about, to say. It's like, when you truly start paying attention to the thoughts, you will notice a mind virus fucking with you. But I know it sounds crazy, but maybe you'll all figure it out one day if you haven't figured it out by now. He wrote, and very importantly, the programming itself is a parasitic virus. By unbrainwashing ourselves, we literally destroy programs. Here on this plane, it's the aha moments when you have a mental breakthrough from an astral perspective. It's literally dying in your mental space. Depending on how capable you are at rejecting a parasite or mind virus, you may very well become poisonous to it or even parasitic, like a virus to the code. So Shengel, I'm curious, do you think that ultimately because again, we're like realizing stuff that we already knew. We're learning from the future. We're becoming awake to who we truly are. Is it like the ultimate answer, just we're God? Like most people already, well, not most, but a lot of people already figured that out here in this realm. Maybe we're more advanced than we give ourselves credit for. That I'll say than I give humanity credit for. I always call them meat monkeys and blah blah blah. But who knows? Maybe a lot of the people we see walking around are actually way more even advanced than we are, and we just don't realize it. But from an astral perspective, okay. He wrote, and you're absolutely correct. Complete destruction of this realm is necessary. I never said fix it. There is no fixing it. A parasitic realm. It seems like somebody tried to completely destroy this realm before, and it didn't work. And they had way more advanced weapons than we do. Unless CERN or all that is a very, very powerful weapon I'm unaware of. HARP or something, like maybe those are made to destroy the world. But the previous civilization had fucking shit that was like catastrophic on a fucking ridiculous level. So, and they couldn't do it. So what makes us think we could do it? Or maybe it was the AI of the previous civilization that destroyed the world. And then they were the androids that later on created the genetic experiment called humans and grew them out of fucking cabbage patches or something. But I'm sorry, he wrote, there is no fixing a parasitic realm in a parasitic matrix. The whole construct needs to go, but I don't know how to do that in one go. What I know how to do is whatever I can do on my own and with the help of others. If I could destroy this realm, let alone this entire construct all on my own, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So I can only offer advice on what I know and do myself. And here in this particular realm, that's physical defiance and warfare against the elites, the AI, the New Age agenda. In the astral, defiance and warfare against the parasites, agents, algorithms, and realms that work to contain us and complete the mission of the enemy. Saying fuck this realm is one thing. Actually doing something about it let alone destroying it, is going to take more than just us talking about it. At some point, we have to do our best to cut it off and separate from it as much as possible and make moves to destroy it on every level. It's not just going to destroy itself. Amen. I agree with all that. If there is a realm that can be destroyed, I'm on team fuck this place up until the end of goddamn existence. If the rest of my eternity was me hunting down demons and ripping their fucking souls out, that's what I will do for forever. Shengel commented, answering what Chris said at 1935. Holy shit. Shengel, you can type, brother. He commented a few times. This comment's as big as that one I just went over. Okay, I'm going to skip a couple of Shengels. I'll cover them on the next comment reply video. Did I thumbs up that other one? Because I'll end up forgetting. Okay. And cover a couple other people's comments. Pax wrote, Revolver, a must-watch rad movie. Never seen that. Guys, go check out Shingel's comments too. I think the guy knows what he's talking about. Thank you, by the way, Shingel, for the great comments. Pax wrote, by the way, your audio is a bit funky. I know, guys. I'm sorry. It just shit happens, dude. I actually had the motherfucker set right before and after the video, and still it came out like it was turned up to max or something. Like, I had to lower the volume when I edited the video halfway, and that's why you get like an almost equal volume but distorted sounding. It just sounded like fucking dog shit. But I checked it. I checked it on video, so if it's fucked up on this one, it's just the equipment or the program I'm using. Pax wrote, spiritual attacks likely, not tech man-made. Definitely spiritual. Cheers, Chris. Absolutely spiritual. Shingel replied back. He wrote, it's both. Never fall. Actually, that's a great reply. It's both. I would say that too, actually. Shingel's right. Never fall into picking one or the other. That's a religious mindset. Yeah, spiritual attacks exist, but so does mind control technology. And some of it exists as one. Yeah, and those technologies would be an extension into the physical realm. They're an extension out of the spirit entity that's trying to corrupt humanity into a sort of artificial brain reality or something. He wrote, there is tech specifically designed to be harnessed astrally and vice versa. Man, reality really is like the fucking Matrix, and we're gonna die and end up like against this like war machine like that's trying to devour everything. Like, what the fuck, dude? And what if it ends up winning? It's like, man, this shit sucked. So we just had an existence to lose to some AI fuckboy. Like, bro, I'm gonna fucking devour this thing's soul in front of its mama, bro. If I can, I hope Shingel's right. Because, dude, if it really is like a war and we end up being the angels that destroys evil, I want to be first in line to that. I understand a lot of people are like, have the mentality, I don't want to participate. I do. Especially if it's fighting for good. If it's fighting to destroy all of evil ultimately, yeah, I'll be on that team. Celestial Wonders wrote, yes. These others without a soul and immortal spirit are zombies crying. T-Fetch wrote, people never consider the hidden 13th zodiac sign when calculating horoscopes and shit. So shit is always off. Oh yeah, I comment. Yeah, I was watching, what's that dude's name? Is Old World Florida, and he's like into that astrology or whatever, and there is something to it. There is something to it because the stars are there. Like, they're not there by accident. They're definitely important. They're something to them. But again, like, all the times that I watched his videos where he tries to say, like, you're this, he never, very rarely gets it right. And like I said, even in the video I watched where they were talking about, like, football and shit, and it ended up being a football video, which I wasn't really interested in, but I did want to see more, like, accurate astrology stuff, but it just doesn't seem legit to me. And again, how do we know that that's not deception and there ain't some 13th zodiac sign that just really fucks it all up and you're confused about it anyways, really? Again, because, like, I remember reading a horoscope thing once, and I thought that when I read, it was Aries, maybe it was, I can't remember, it was some other sign I was reading. I was like, dude, this is me in through and through. It wasn't Scorpio. This is before I even, like, realized what I was. And I was like, oh, this is definitely me, who I am. I can't remember which one it was, but I was like, and then I read another one, because when I realized I was Scorpio, I read that one, and again, it did seem similar to me. There were some similarities, but actually the first one seemed more similar, and then I read another one, and then that one seemed super similar. It's like, man, these things you can say this about anybody, like a lot of these shits, and it's so complicated and stacked that you can end up saying, oh, the guy's got a big forehead. See, that proves that he's a fucking cancer or whatever. It's like a big forehead. So what if I gave you 10,000 examples of cancers that have small foreheads? Because that was something said in one of them, that the size of the dude's forehead proved that he was that sign. I'm like, what? So you're telling me you are you actually going to sit there and pretend that there ain't probably thousands of people that are that sign with a big-ass forehead? You know what I'm saying? They got a 5 head or a 6 head. Come on, bro. I don't know. I just don't see anything to it. It's a joke almost. It's like, again, role-playing. If there's power in it, prove it with yourself. Become a millionaire. Become a billionaire by lining yourself up to the stars. And then tell everybody else how you did. Don't just leave some weird comment like, oh, millionaires don't know about it, but the billionaires do pay attention to the stars. And this dude carries around his little star watch and all this shit. And T-Vex wrote, language is a mind virus. I agree. There's something to language that we don't understand that makes it very powerful. But the whole curse words thing is just, I never understood. But again, I grew up around that shit. Everybody I knew in my life cursed. I didn't know too many people that didn't curse. But just a small channel wrote, no, not really. They are poisoned, manipulated, and misguided, and also under a kind of hypnosis, which, well, wouldn't a kind of you got to be more specific, just small channel. We say they're, now it's not that there's a mind virus, it's because they're poisoned, manipulated, misguided. I agree with all that. And then you say, and under a kind of hypnosis. Well, what do you mean a kind of hypnosis? That's the mind virus. That's what I'm talking about, is the kind of hypnosis that everybody's under. That's the fucking mind virus. He wrote, which not even the alternative media know anything about. A hypnosis that makes it difficult for them to see truthfully. From the Alex Laurent interview speaking about the people. Most of what Alexander Laurent makes no sense to me, but maybe a German speaker understands what he says better. Also, the translations from his interview are really bad, but the PDF is decent. There's also a group called Eurasia Translated that does translations of his interviews. Some stuff makes a lot of sense, though, like he's saying that there's a club that wants to make humans digital, and that's what we're seeing now, and that's the reason behind the Depop agenda. Well, it seems like we're all arguing different versions of the same argument to a degree. It's like, oh, it's not that, it's this, because this word makes more sense to me. It's like, I don't know, I'm just glad that this dude's seeing that something's going on. He wrote, personally, I believe it already happened, and 2020 and afterwards some kind of limbo transitional period, because everything feels really weird now. I think 2020 was maybe when they initiated the true mind control program, and that's why everybody feels worse since then, or it's gotten worse, blah, blah. I don't know. If anything, Infinite Corridors wrote, hey Chris, your channel is helpful and I appreciate you sharing these videos with others. Thank you, Infinite Corridors. I appreciate you too. He wrote, I meditated nearly deeply for about 11 years, and over the last 5 or 6 months or so, I no longer needed to meditate because I now have the ability to entirely cease all mental dialogue in my mind for as long as I want. I do too, but honestly, after a while, it sort of auto goes back to like thinking like a fucking retard or whatever. He wrote, all mental dialogue in my mind for as long as I want. So I guess I can't do it for as long as, well, I can if I refocus on it and sort of remind myself that these thoughts are not in my mind. Usually sometimes I deliberate actively about things whenever I choose to. I have taught my mind and brain to activate a state of empty-minded, neutral, pure, and detached observation at will, and I can maintain it as long as I want now over a decade of nearly daily meditation. Hold on, a weird thought just entered my mind. Okay, when we meditate, you can sort of enter an empty-minded, neutral, pure, and detached observation. So he's saying he's sort of learned to meditate while he's become conscious. And my thing is all the things that drive me, are the emotions, are the tools of the machine used to deceive me. Like the way I think is that the human experience was programmed in a way for us to be the way that we are. And it's interesting because it's my emotions and stuff that drive me in the direction I'm driven. So, but I recognize emotions and stuff as aspects of the Matrix machine. I'm sorry. Anyways, like, is the entity that I am void of all these human emotions? Does the entity that I'm made of even feel things like guilt or sadness or depression or misery or even happiness, the good stuff? That list is a lot shorter when I say the good stuff. Happiness, dopamine. But I hope I made my point. He wrote, I would say that around my 5th or 6th year of daily meditation, I confronted my self-realization that there were two minds in operation in my mind. The one mind is my own organic thought stream, and the other mind is the foreign installation, as Carlos Castaneda referred to installation. All these words are like, aren't they? They're like words you would use in computer systems. Carlos Castaneda was some sort of fucking... That's funny, because that was the first book that was ever given to me. I didn't read it. My brother Tom gave me it. That was the first book ever given to me. Was a Carlos Castaneda book. But I don't read. I don't read, but he wrote... the other one is the foreign installation is Carlos Castaneda. Yeah, the foreign installation. It's like a program. Like our spirit body sitting in the fucking Matrix tube thing with all the things plugged into it. And it's like, something's like, and it installs this. And we're just like, ooh, now I can't be intelligent or fucking, have my own mind. Or now there's something in my brain that's constantly whispering in my ear. It's an installation. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? But it makes a lot more sense than all the other fucking theories I've heard. He wrote, it's the mind of the flyers or archons. As to what it actually is, though, well, I've read through the 1976 patent from the U.S. government for remote neural monitoring technology, which utilizes radar and microwave technologies to remotely map absolutely anybody's EEG or brainwave. This technology allows the government to map our unique neuronal activity. Dude, okay, if this is all true, then this fucking mind virus is so much already in control and blah, blah. If it's already reading our thoughts and blah, blah, it's like, how much more does it have to be in control for us to say, okay, it's won this game or whatever? I'm going to fight it tooth and nail till the day I fucking stop existing. But you get my point. It's like, man, it's extensions, the technology, the extensions of the spiritual virus into physical reality. The physical manifestations of the mind virus come in like this. Mind control devices and blah, blah. It's like, it's obvious something is trying to control humanity. Anyways, government to map our unique neuronal activity remotely and reverse engineer it, and thereby remotely transmitting any thought form or even mood or emotions into our brains. The externally transmitted thoughts sound exactly in the... it's funny, he's right, and once you become aware of it, you can feel when it's doing it to you. It literally feels like a force trying to go into your head. It'll feel like, not pressure, like wind going into your head. I don't know how to explain it. Like a fucking something. You can feel it happening once you become aware of your thoughts and aware of intrusive thoughts. They literally feel like something that isn't you. It's bizarre. The externally transmitted thoughts sound exactly the same mental voice to us as our own because it's generated using our very own individual EEG or brainwave patterns previously mapped by the technology. This stuff was patented in 76. I've seen a lot of these patents too. He's just telling the truth. Here, they've got to be light years. Actually, there was one in like 1951. Back when they had the fucking tube televisions, they were trying to do shit like this. Like, for real. 76, he wrote, they've got to be light years ahead of this technology by now and have no idea what that looks like or implies. The government is probably at least 500 to 1,000 years more advanced in their secret technologies than we could ever imagine, I would guess. Acknowledging that this technology exists doesn't remove the concept that archons or mentally vocal entities or thought forms beings could exist as well. They definitely can, and I have had multiple mental battles with what I would call demons during meditations over the years as well. Me too, Infinite. Is this Infinite Corridors? Me too, Infinite. Thank you for saying all this. It made me feel more confident in admitting it myself. I'm not claiming I know everything going on here, but anybody can go find the patents and read them. They're still available online. Thanks, Chris. Much love and gratitude, buddy. Thank you too, Infinite Corridors. Pax wrote, you love this music because it touches your soul. You have certain qualities and gifts that are needed in these NPC chucklehead times. You recognize tough truths, are able to appreciate beauty, and are very open-minded, providing people to question the reality story the masses NPCs need badly. The vast majority of humanoids have zero of this talent / proper perspective. Thank you, Pax. This is a great comment. He wrote, I enjoy the passion and unfiltered content on your channel. You seem real and aren't soulless like the 99.7% seemingly. Reincarnation is definitely real. Focus on knowing thyself. Seek peace, love, solitude in this crazy backwards shit upside down world. Take care of the avatar, outside / body, and the inner self, inner / soul plus spirit. You will become less angry and frustrated the more wisdom, tranquility you gain. Much respect, brother. Cheers. I probably should, Pax. Honestly, I would prefer to be less angry and frustrated. But honestly, I've also kind of like learned to use or to transmute anger into energy. But I would probably be better off just not being angry as much. But again, I've sort of learned to use my anger. Pax wrote, it's good light, truth, beauty, natural versus bad, dark, Maya, ugly, unnatural. Maybe, just maybe, a test only 1 in 1,000 or 2 in 10,000 will pass. Really. And 0 females. Why'd you say that? You think 0 of the girls are going to pass this test? I hope that's not true. I've actually heard a lot of theories lately about like females being NPCs, like they're not even real. That when they did when they looked at all the jobs that AI so far has replaced, they were all female jobs. Like I keep hearing all these weird, like, is that what you're trying to say, that like girls aren't real or something? I hope that ain't fucking true. You are scum 666 wrote TS. Okay, he wrote the Sandy Machine. I'll go over it. Whatever. The Sandy Machine gets mad and goes into a rages if someone has different opinions other than his. He attacks with long ass replies or reply after reply, then bans you. You don't get a chance to reply back and defend yourself. Yeah, he's an odd individual. Absolutely. You wrote, he's so threatened by someone having a different viewpoint. Just makes me think of a deeply insecure man. He's a bully and his followers ignore how far he actually goes with it all. Well, they definitely ignore it. I mean, like I said, he got Lion Sword kicked out of his living situation, for Christ's sakes. Like, this dude's a fucking creepy boy, but whatever, It's all he'll ever be, some little weird fucking whisper in the ear of actual soul creatures, just like an Archon entity. He wrote, one of you, all I did was reply back to him and say, to be fair, Matt has addressed those issues a few times. Did Matt address those issues? About Pam being a fucking exec at the, shot company? He wrote, in context, I was addressing Matt being on Fox News and a few other things he brought up about Matt. That's all it took. He glitched out and blocked me. He was like, oh shit, we got one that can see. Yeah, that's what he does. He attacks, and blocks you like a child would do, so you can't respond. Isn't that what he does? I've heard this now from 10 different people. That's so pathetic and weak. Like the say a bunch of shit and then block you. It's like, well, you didn't give me a chance to respond, you little drooling fuckboy. You're too stupid to coexist with me. Anyways, he wrote, one of you wrote, yes, it is very obvious what he is. Okay, this is all about that fuckboy now. The amount of attention he has focused on certain channels in a very small community gives it away. You don't really watch Matt anymore, but he constantly rips off Matt and pretends it's his ideas. Really? It's one of those reasons he doesn't want anyone watching. A very select group of channels. Think about that. How interesting. He's choosing the channels he has. Oh, that's an interesting tactic. So demonize all the channels you bite off of. Like, well, actually, that's a kind of a stupid tactic for any logical person that then goes and observes the channels and be like, wait, this guy's saying the shit that my buddy was saying over there. And they're like, real? They would eventually realize it, right? They're truth seekers, for Christ's sakes. But I have faith that the people over at his channel will ultimately see what's going on. Supposedly I heard he's banning hundreds of people. Like, if that's not proof enough to him that he's an idiot, like, I don't know what would have to happen. But anyways, they're talking about this dude that's like says I'm an evil lizard person and all this dumb shit, but he's a creepy stalker boy. But Pax wrote, waste of thoughts, time, and energy. Just saying. I agree with Pax. Just a waste. Like, why talk about that pathetic Archon demon thing? Like, he wrote, depends. He wrote, one of you replies back at Pax, says, depends on what you're getting out of it. For me, I've learned a lot, but for your average Joe, which makes up about 98% of the population, yeah, probably a waste of time, especially if you have decided it's a waste of time. One of you wrote, meet in person. I can't even get someone to have a phone conversation. Stop and Smell the Roses wrote, laugh out loud. I can't get someone I want to have a phone conversation with. That was good. Stop and Smell the Roses. That was actually funny. One of you, if you want to talk to me, we can talk. I'll talk to you. He wrote, though, just email me. Email me a time that you can talk. Do you have Discord or what's that other one? I had downloaded one somebody else recommended recently. Streamlabs desktop. Download that. We'll have a conversation, dude. I'll talk to you. What's the problem? He wrote, the whole situation with Derek and the insanity man-child makes no sense, and the more you questions you ask, the more it breaks down, unfortunately. Yeah, it's well, it does make sense if you know what's going on. Some people speak the truth. Creepy Archon in the ear boy wants to be the one saying those truths. He wants those people to recognize him as the creator of these thoughts, philosophies, and ideas when he hasn't created anything except fucking paintings of penguins and shit. He wants to demonize all the ones he's fighting off of. Isn't that what we just can't? So I know exactly what's going on. He's just a pathetic little Archon demon. And if he takes all the people telling the truth and sort of perverts their ideas and philosophies in the long run, then he's a complete Archon little piece of shit, right? Stop and Smell the Roses wrote, referring to that bullshit debacle, this Matrix is full of Archons in training and they don't even know it. Amen. Stop and Smell the Roses. I called that out 2 days into the bullshit. Like, the boy's an agent. Y'all can't tell it? How long have y'all been in the trick of me? This boy's about as agent as you can get. Anything that you can say to make a description of an agent, he's got it. Daniel Barone wrote, Nas Life a Bitch would be a good karaoke. I'm not going to rap on a karaoke. Karaoke's more for singing, isn't it? Like, to do a rap would be weird on a karaoke. Maestro, I've never seen anybody do a rap on a karaoke. Maestro Retardo wrote, karaoke, how about a self-written Dookie Boy Rome song for your videos and intros and outros? I should make a fucking, yeah, why not? Well, I still need a beat. This Place Isn't Reality wrote at 108. That's actually one of the numbers I see all the time, 107, 108, 109. He wrote, the healing ability in Psi. Psi is mind spirit. Chi is body spirit. Magic is imagination spirit. Chi is Dan Tian. Psi is mind energy. Magic is imagination. You can combine them all. Stop and Smell the Roses replied back to that. I saved this to read it later. I didn't do well at this today. The Matrix put something in my path that was guaranteed to make me react. It was an obvious plant. A dog in a hot car with the windows rolled up took some loosh out of me, like the theme song to Mystery Science Theater 3000 says. It's only just a movie. I should really just relax. I wondered if they should come back next life as a person who's stuck in a hot compartment. This place is a tough ride. Anyways, thanks for taking your time to write up your ideas. And Pax replied, pre-cog. And then at Stops on the Roses, reality matrix test. I don't know what Pax is saying, but Mirror Reflections wrote, notes with materiality would never say something that Schizo Stevie disagrees with. They are major butt buddies. Who gives a fuck? Pax wrote, who cares? I agree with Pax. The Age of Warriors wrote, I sent you some PDFs to your email. I don't know if you like reading, but these PDFs have plenty of illustrations to look at. I looked at them, Kyung, but even with all the illustrations, it's just not my thing, dude. I don't know why I'm like cursed to, maybe it's not a curse, maybe it's a blessing, but I'm just like cursed to not look at books. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and cut this one off, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.